My name is Melissa Ashton. I worked at a major city bank and even had a fiance who was a coworker. But one day, out of the blue, he broke off our engagement. The reason? He had fallen in love with someone else. And that someone turned out to be my subordinate. Feeling like I had no place left at work, I decided to resign voluntarily.
Don't even think about asking for alimony, you jobless old hag.
That's Rachel, the other woman. She got into the company through her daddy's connections. He's the bank president. She's utterly incompetent at her job, but scores a perfect 10 at flirting with men. The female employees despise her, though she's completely clueless about it. I never imagined someone like her would steal my fiancé.
I'm sorry, Melissa.
That was Tom, my ex-fiancé, saying sorry without an ounce of sincerity. And there was Rachel, clinging to his arm.
It's not my fault, though. Obviously, I'm the better choice. I mean, you're 32, and I'm 23. That's a huge age gap.
So you picked her because of her age?
No, that's not it. I was captivated by her charm.
Charm? That's enough for you? Even though she's terrible at her job?
Work doesn't matter. Once we're married, I'll be a housewife anyway. I don't want someone like you, who's great at her job but gets married late in life.
Sure, at 32, I might be a bit late to the marriage game. But I don't believe marrying young is necessarily the best. It's only with time and experience that you truly understand your partner. Then again, considering I was about to marry someone who would choose a woman like her, maybe I'm not so great myself. So what is it about her that made you break off our engagement? I had to know the real reason.
Do you really want to know the truth?
Yes, for future reference, I'd like to hear it.
All right, fine. Here it is. You're great at your job, but you lack charm. I used to think you were the best because you were all I'd ever known. But after meeting Rachel, I realized I prefer cute women. I'm so glad I met her before we got married. I feel like she's worth everything to me.
That's it?
Well, no. The biggest thing is that Rachel is the bank president's daughter. That's the main reason.
Unbelievable. So he's basically just aiming for money and status. And he had no shame saying this right in front of her. Normally, someone like Rachel would be embarrassed to hear that, but instead she said,
Of course. You need a strong backing to snag a good man.
Wow, Tom is pathetic, but Rachel is something else entirely. I laughed to myself. This former subordinate of mine and Tom, who's blind to her stupidity, they're a match made in hell. I decided right then and there to make sure they ended up there.
You must be upset about losing your fiancé, but we're not paying you a cent in alimony.
Rachel seemed very fixated on money. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask for alimony. Even if they gave me money, it wouldn't settle this grudge. I'll do something far more satisfying. And it certainly won't be something as mild as getting them fired. I'll make sure you two suffer enough to cry and beg for forgiveness. That thought ran through my mind as I looked over at him. Tom didn't seem to understand why I was staring at him and continued bad-mouthing me with Rachel.
Of course, if I want to get married, I'd choose the bank president's daughter over some poor girl who has nothing.
Exactly. Marrying the president's daughter guarantees career advancement. Once I get married, I'm quitting my job and living life however I want.
Being a stay-at-home wife isn't all fun and games, you know. It's hard work.
That's only true for poor people. For someone like me, I can hire a housekeeper, so it's no problem.
A housekeeper for someone at the president's level, right? Sure, some people might have one, but do they even have the resources to afford that?
My family has a housekeeper, so after I get married, I'll absolutely need one too. That way, I don't have to lift a finger. Tom just needs to climb the ladder.
Let's hope it all works out for you.
It will. No doubt about it.
That's how it is. Sorry, I know you probably don't want to split up, but it's for the best.
Thanks for showing me what kind of man you really are. Rest assured, I'll make sure you both end up in hell.
Still, it's the person who gets dumped that's to blame. You may have been my boss, but you were never much of one. Sure, you're good at your job, but working with you wasn't fun at all. All you ever did was boss people around and nag. Bossy women with no charm are a 0 in my book. Just a tip for you.
What an awful thing to say. I'm glad to be rid of a shallow man who would choose someone like her. Don't worry, I'm not your boss anymore, Rachel.
Right. Quitting your job because you got dumped. How pathetic. You've realized now, haven't you, that you're just another woman after all?
You don't have to rub it in like that.
Tom laughed along with Rachel. Still, even this man had once been someone worth falling for. He was dedicated to his work, kind and considerate. He never did anything to make me uncomfortable, and I truly thought I'd be happy marrying him. Not just him. When I met his parents to introduce myself, they were kind too. They cooked a homemade meal for me, and I genuinely looked forward to becoming part of their family. I had believed that soon I'd become his wife and join their family. Well, but then, out of nowhere, he broke off our engagement. And for what? To get tangled up in this foolish woman's web. Rachel must have thought my silence meant victory. With a triumphant smirk, she hurled more insults my way.
It's only natural for an old lady like you to get dumped. It must be tough being jobless at your age, but good luck.
I'm sure you'll land another job soon enough.
Oh, Tom, don't just say things like that. There's no way an old lady like her could find a job so easily.
Wow, that's harsh even for you.
Well, it'd be cruel to give her hope and then crush it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you've got a point there.
The office had gone completely silent as everyone listened to their exchange. The tension was palpable, and the employees looked visibly uncomfortable, their faces pale. Just then, Kevin, the department manager, burst into the room after hearing about my resignation.
Melissa, is it true you're resigning?
Yes, I am. Thank you for everything. I'll also be closing my $300 million account as I leave.
Please, don't go. I don't know what happened, but I beg you, don't resign. I'm pleading with you here.
Kevin bowed deeply, practically begging me to stay. No, I've already made up my mind.
Then at least, please, don't close your account.
There's no point in keeping my money here.
Tom, what's this about a $300 million account closure?
Wait, Rachel, don't you know?
What?
Melissa is one of our bank's most important clients. She has $300 million deposited here.
That's ridiculous. How could someone like her have $300 million? It has to be a lie.
Melissa, the CEO's daughter of a major trading company, inherited her grandfather's fortune and a subsidiary. She chose to work here to gain first-hand experience as a subordinate instead of running the subsidiary without preparation.
So, what happened to the subsidiary?
It's currently run by the vice president, who effectively acts as the CEO. But all major decisions still go through Melissa. To be clear, she has more than enough assets to live comfortably without working. Yet she chose to work because she thought doing nothing would be boring.
Isn't it better if someone just working on a whim leaves anyway?
Do you really think she worked here on a whim? Melissa is one of the most capable people I've ever seen. She held this department together. Losing her will be a disaster.
This woman capable? Tom, did you know about this?
No, I had no idea. If I'd known she had that kind of backing, there's no way I'd have broken off the engagement.
Hey, I'm the bank president's daughter. Being the daughter of some company CEO doesn't mean she can help your career.
Well, that's true, but
Melissa, why are you resigning? Can you at least tell me your reasons?
Rachel here stole my fiance. Every single day, the two of them hurled passive-aggressive remarks at me, and my mental health has taken a serious hit. Working in the same place as Tom, my ex-fiance, is unbearable. And on top of that, being disrespected daily by Rachel, my subordinate, is just too much.
I had no idea.
That's why I decided to quit.
This is unbelievable. What on earth have you two done?
Kevin's anger made Tom's face turn pale. But Rachel, on the other hand, looked unfazed, as if she didn't care.
We're better off without someone like her anyway.
Rachel said this while inspecting her nails.
Rachel, do you not understand the gravity of this situation?
We're better off without someone like her. She probably wasn't doing much work anyway.
How dare you? Melissa, we'll close your account.
Exactly. It's better to fire someone like her than let her pretend she's quitting gracefully. Serves her right.
What are you saying? You're the ones getting fired.
Why? That's ridiculous.
Melissa, these people are the ones causing all this trouble. There's no reason for you to quit. Firing them would solve the problem.
You can't do that. I'm the bank president's daughter. You can't fire me, no matter who you are.
Well, Kevin, if firing her is all that happens, that's too lenient. She needs to feel the consequences of her actions.
Consequences? What do you mean?
She doesn't understand what losing her status here really means. Rachel has coasted on her father's name, doing the bare minimum at work. It's time she faced reality. If she stays at this bank, things will only get worse. But firing the president's daughter might hurt your standing, Kevin.
Exactly. My dad wouldn't allow it. He wouldn't let his darling daughter suffer.
I've covered for her mistakes until now, but when there's no one left to clean up after her, she'll finally realize how clueless she really is. And now that Tom is with her, no other male employee will want to help her. Eventually, Rachel will see how much support she's been given and learn what it's like without it.
She's really been helped that much?
Yes, while she's good at acting cute, she's terrible at her job and completely irresponsible. The men who wanted to date her have been cleaning up her messes. But the female staff, they've seen through her and refuse to help. As her supervisor, I had no choice but to pick up the slack. Now that I won't have to, things will finally be peaceful.
I can't believe it was like that. So moving forward,
If she wants to play the role of the president's daughter, she should clean up this mess herself. Without me, things will become very clear soon enough.
I'm not bad at my job. I just wasn't motivated because you were always nagging. Once you're gone, I'll finally shine.
Sure, if that's what you believe, go ahead. So, Kevin, I'll be resigning. With that, I grabbed my belongings and walked out of the bank.
this is a disaster. What have we done?
Kevin, you don't have to worry so much. We've only lost one client with $300 million. I'm still here, and I'm the bank president's daughter.
Do you even hear yourself? After this, even your father won't let this slide.
No way. My dad would never let his precious little girl face any trouble.
Do you even understand what it means to have $300 million withdrawn? Hey Tom, what about you?
Of course, I understand.
That's ridiculous. It's not a big deal. A bank this size can't be shaken by just $300 million. There's no way something like this could cause a problem.
But both Kevin and Tom snapped, yelling in frustration.
You're the bank president's daughter, and yet you don't understand this. Are you clueless, or do you just not get how things work?
If I tell my dad, he'll fix something like this in no time. My dad is the bank president, after all.
With that, Rachel immediately called her father.
Daddy, a client with $300 million withdrew their account. It was this awful woman, my boyfriend's ex-fiance. She's so infuriating. How twisted can someone be? She's just mad that I stole her fiance. That's why she did it out of spite. Daddy, do something about this.
Wait, what exactly are you saying? Who is this client?
Melissa Ashton. Her grandpa passed away, and she inherited a fortune and a subsidiary company. But apparently, she can't run it herself. So she left it to the vice president. She's so irresponsible.
Melissa Ashton. Are you telling me you stole her fiance?
That's right. His name's Tom Williams. I'll introduce him to you soon, Daddy.
I don't want to meet him.
Why not? He might be my fiance someday.
You stole someone else's fiance. And not just anyone, but Melissa Ashton's? What were you thinking?
What's the big deal? So what if I took her fiance? It's not like it's that serious.
It is serious. How do you not understand that?
I don't get it. Just fix it, Daddy.
This isn't something I can just fix. Kevin is there, right?
Yeah, he's here.
Put him on the phone.
Rachel handed the phone to Kevin, who listened intently before saying, "Understood," and hanging up.
Kevin, Daddy will handle this, right?
No, he won't. Here's the deal. You two caused this mess, so you're going to fix it. You have 1 week to secure $300 million in new contracts. If you fail, you won't just lose your jobs. You'll face far worse consequences.
Why is everyone so angry? There's no reason to be this upset. I don't get it.
Enough. Bring in $300 million in contracts, and that's final.
Fine. $300 million? That's easy. I'll get it done.
There's no way. Securing $300 million in contracts is impossible.
Why the serious face, Tom? It's not that hard. We don't need one contract worth $300 million, right? Just a total of $300 million?
That's right. It doesn't matter if it's one contract or several. Just secure $300 million in total.
See? That's simple.
Simple? Do you really think this is easy?
Of course. We have a whole week. It's more than enough time. Besides, if I ask, people will happily sign contracts with me.
If it were that easy, no one would ever have problems. Everyone would be bringing in tens of millions in contracts every month. The fact that it's hard is why it's a big deal.
Don't worry. I'll get it done. Kevin, you said 1 week, right? Just wait. I'll make it happen.
Good. If you're so confident, start immediately. If it's so simple, you don't have time to waste.
But I'm hungry. Can I eat lunch first?
Are you kidding me? There's no time for lunch.
Reluctantly, the two stormed out, but they had no idea where to start. Rachel kept grumbling, wondering why her dad was so upset, while Tom was overwhelmed, thinking about how impossible $300 million in contracts would be.
Hey, Tom, why do you think Daddy got so mad?
What?
Don't you think it's weird? There's no reason to get this upset. I just don't get it.
Rachel, now's not the time for this. We have to figure out how to secure $300 million in contracts. And it's impossible.
Why not just go door to door? If you ask, you can get $100 or $200 contracts, right?
That's peanuts compared to $300 million. How many contracts would we need to reach that amount?
Don't yell at me. Then why not try businesses? They might sign for $1,000 or $2,000.
That's still not enough. We need $300 million in a week.
What a hassle. Then why don't you just try a big corporation? It's pointless to say it won't work if you don't even try.
That was technically true, but in today's world, even large corporations wouldn't just hand over large sums of money. Especially since most big companies already have established relationships with banks. And given this is a major city bank, those companies are probably already clients. Tom, dragged around by Rachel, went from place to place trying to secure contracts. But unsurprisingly, he didn't manage to land a single deal. By the 5th day, Tom was ready to give up.
Why haven't you closed any deals yet? I thought you were supposed to be good at your job, Tom.
You can say that, but if I could secure $300 million in a week, I'd be the top salesperson every month. Melissa used to land deals like this all the time, though.
I don't care about her. If we don't get a deal, we're getting fired. Do you get that?
I get it, but there's nothing I can do.
What do you mean? Nothing you can do. I'm not about to be fired. It's humiliating.
I don't want to be fired either.
Then maybe it's your sales approach. You're not smiling enough.
Seriously? You're blaming me?
Who else would I blame?
You've got to be kidding. Isn't it your bad attitude that's the problem? No matter where we go, the other side's reps get defensive because you never even try to smile.
You're blaming me? I'm not the kind of woman who just smiles for no reason. I'm not cheap like that.
This isn't about being cheap or expensive. It's sales. Smiling is part of the job.
I can't believe you're trying to pin this on me when it's clearly your fault. Tom, you're the worst.
Rachel was furious, but the reality was that everywhere they went, her poor attitude made clients uninterested in doing business with them. Even when they tried approaching individuals, Rachel's condescending behavior got them shut out immediately. Realizing this wasn't working, Tom came to me.
Melissa,
"Oh, Tom, what brings you here? Have you secured the $300 million contract?"
not at all. I've been walking everywhere, and all I've managed to get is about $10,000.
That's not even close to enough.
Which is why I'm asking, could you please reconsider and redeposit the $300 million you withdrew?
Why would I?
Because if you do, it'll save our jobs.
You're asking me to redeposit just to save your job? Doesn't that seem a little ridiculous? You treated me horribly, remember? That's why I withdrew it in the first place. That's true. And it wasn't just you, it was Rachel too. And now you're asking me to save your jobs? Do you really think I'd agree to something so absurd?
It's not just about our jobs. If this continues, the bank might go under.
Then that's just how it is. This is the result of your actions, isn't it?
You're right, but Melissa, you knew this would happen when you withdrew the money. Why would you do that?
I resigned. I only kept my money there because I worked at that bank. Once I left, I was free to put my money wherever I wanted. Why would I keep it at a place that made me miserable?
But if the bank collapses, so many employees will suffer.
And that's on you, isn't it? Don't make it sound like it's my fault.
But you're going to deposit the money somewhere, right? So why not bring it back to our bank?
Because I specifically decided not to keep it there. Why would I entrust my money to a place where people insulted me? Besides, I've already moved it to another bank.
Please, I'm begging you. This is me bowing down and asking.
Do you think bowing will solve everything? Instead of groveling here, why don't you try pitching to some companies? Rachel must have rich friends. Why not ask them to sign contracts?
They all turned us down. Whenever Rachel calls, they just hang up immediately.
Oh, that makes sense. With her, of course they would.
Why?
Tom, you're blinded by Rachel's skewed charm, so you can't see it. But a woman like her? She doesn't have real friends.
You might be right. Spending this past week with her, I finally realized what kind of person she really is. I was an idiot, so I'm begging you. Please, I'm desperate. Just let us handle the $300 million again.
No way. After everything you two did to me, you deserve to suffer more. Even the next day, Tom kept coming back to plead. Rachel, on the other hand, just laughed and mocked him. Watching the two of them, I couldn't help but think how hopeless they both were. There was no way anyone could secure a $300 million contract, but with those two, it wasn't even a 1% possibility. After a week had passed, the two returned to the bank.
Did you secure the $300 million contract?
Well, no, we didn't.
And you think just saying no is enough?
It's not my fault. Tom is the one who couldn't do his job properly. I didn't realize how incompetent he was until now.
In front of Kevin, Rachel berated Tom. Hearing this, Tom couldn't believe what she was saying. He began to think he was better off without her. The bank decided to terminate both of them after they failed to secure the contract. Rachel, however, couldn't accept why she was being fired and argued with Kevin. But nothing changed, and in the end, they were forced to leave. As they parted ways, Rachel reportedly yelled at Tom.
"This is all your fault, you useless idiot."
The two stood in front of the bank, shouting at each other without any regard for the stares of passersby. Their quarrel turned into such a disturbance that the police were called. When they saw the police arriving, they quickly scattered. Though their relationship came to an end, Tom came to see me.
Please, let's start over. We were doing so well together. If we get married, I'll even help with your work.
What are you talking about? You have Rachel, don't you?
I broke up with her.
She's the bank president's daughter.
She was fired from the bank, and now Rachel has no value anymore.
Oh, so you got fired from the bank too?
Yeah, we couldn't secure the $300 million contract, so we were let go.
Well, that's unfortunate.
The bank's days were numbered anyway, so I don't regret being fired.
That wasn't true, though. After hearing that the two had been dismissed, I redeposited the $300 million at the bank. So the bank's future was no longer at risk. I see, but I have no intention of getting back together with you.
Why not? I love you.
I don't need that shallow kind of love. You'd just get distracted by another woman when she comes along, wouldn't you? I don't want someone so unreliable.
I see. You're probably right. So what's next for you, Melissa?
What do you mean?
You quit the bank. Are you planning to work somewhere else?
I'll return to my own company. The employees want me back, and working at the bank taught me a lot about being an employee. So you see, quitting the bank doesn't affect me at all. But for you, things will be tough. It's not easy to find a job, you know.
That's why I'm asking you again.
Stop being so persistent. If you're thinking about joining my company, forget it. That's never going to happen. Go look elsewhere.
Why do I have to go through this?
Afterward, Tom tried applying to various banks but was rejected at every one. Realizing no one would hire him, he reached out to Rachel.
Please help me out. Your dad is the bank president, right? Can't he help me get a job?
Why should I? You're useless. I thought you could actually work, but you're completely incompetent. I can't believe you'd even ask. Talk about shamelessness.
I ended up like this because of you.
Finally, Tom let out his true feelings. Rachel, furious, lashed out.
You've got some nerve blaming me when you're the pathetic one. I'll make sure you never work at any bank again. I'll tell my dad to block you from every bank.
Wait, no. I'm sorry. I take it back. Please don't do that.
But Rachel hung up on him without another word. True to her threat, no bank ever even granted Tom an interview, and he was never able to work in the banking industry again. Having no other choice, Tom decided to try switching industries. But with his entire career centered on banking, his skills didn't transfer well. In the end, the only job he could find was working part-time at a convenience store. He juggled multiple part-time jobs to make ends meet, but his parents, embarrassed by his situation, eventually kicked him out. Now he lives quietly in a rundown apartment. As for Rachel, she was harshly scolded by her father after everything that happened. She was never allowed to work in banking again, and was pressured into marrying someone her parents had chosen for her. And me? I returned to my own company and now enjoy working as the CEO, living each day to the fullest.